Well, the saying in politics is that all politics is local, but this Queensland election is far more personal to some. Sky News viewers will know the story of Russell Field, whose son and daughter-in-law were killed by a teenage driver in a stolen car. Russell is now contesting the safe Labor seat where it happened, pledging to get tough on youth crime.
When the accident happened, I had no intentions of standing up and being in politics. But you go through life all the way through and you think, well, what am I going to do? Something has to be done. It has to change.
As a former construction worker, Russell Field never expected to find his name on an LNP placard, nor suffer the grief of burying his son Matthew and pregnant daughter-in-law Kate after they were hit by a stolen car driven by a teenager intoxicated on drugs and on bail whilst walking their dogs on Australia Day in 2021.
We went through years after the accident of nothing happening, and there were still victims time after time. So I thought, well, if I don't stand up, who will?
Russell wants youth offenders who do adult crimes to do adult time.
If it stops one kid from stealing a car and going killing somebody, that's done its job.
Perhaps ironically, it was a social media post by his now opponent, Labor's Don Brown, that triggered him to run in the southeast Brisbane seat of Capalaba, where they died. Don Brown described this story of these armed youths casing a house as a media beat-up.
Security Vision captures youth offenders casing, but not robbing, a home in southwest Brisbane armed with golf clubs.
I said it last night was a genuine media beat-up about youth crime.
It's a tweet he's since taken down.
I deleted it, yeah. So I acknowledge it was a mistake.
After quite literally standing with the Field family, he's now up against them.
You can't just run around here, have a candidate that blows in from Brisbane, use his story, tragically, and just use it with a four-word slogan.
Don Brown says you're just a candidate with a four-word slogan.
That's Don Brown for you. I'm not a politician, I'm a real person. We feel, and a lot of victims feel, as if we're still lying in the gutter waiting for the first responders to turn up.
I've spoken a lot about listening to victims and giving victims a voice. Imagine having Russell Field go into the Parliament and drive change.
In its 32-year history, Capalaba has been won just once by the LNP. And with a margin of near 10%, it should be considered as safe as houses for the Labor Party. But if it was to fall on election night and that swing was replicated across the state, the Labor Party would be annihilated.
It's a grassroots issue which is impacting a lot of people on a daily basis.
Do you think it'll be enough to change sentiment?
I think it will for the community.
It's up to the parents to sort it out.
What we need to do is have programs that work, not just slogans.
For the LNP, it's a campaign where there's more than seats at stake.
Between now and election day, there's going to be a load more victims. And they don't know they're going to be a victim yet.
In Capalaba, Jonathan Lee, the Sky News.